Theo, did you know that the United Nations said that the global population is expected to surpass 9.7 billion in about 30 years?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I read about like multinational companies trying to implement like more sustainable practices while trying to maintain like levels of quality and like the costs down.
That's so important. We really need to start caring about our planet.
Oh, I know. And you know what? I also like read like how difficult it is to actually implement those practices and stuff, but I've never read an article like contrasting like first world countries and second world countries, and especially like the difficulties that second world countries may have, like, you know, such as Hungary.
Wait, that's so true. Yeah, that is a big research gap, I think, because there's really no contrasting that's been done yet. But Theo, you mentioned Hungary, right?
Yeah, I did.
Do you know the company Metro Cash and Carry?
It's familiar to me.
Yeah, so they're a big multinational wholesaler, and they actually started some operations in Hungary, and they're trying to implement sustainable practices. So maybe we could look into that.
I think that's a good research question. Like, for example, like, to what extent the economic and social conditions of a country, specifically like Hungary in this case, right, affect the implementation of sustainable procedures in the globalized company Metro Cash and Carry?
Perfect. And I feel like the best way to do that would probably be qualitative research, right?
Yeah, of course, like with semi-structured interviews.
Perfect. So if we can get some employees that maybe specialized in the Hungary division.
And try to contrast it like in the other like sections and like sectors of the company.
Okay, I think we have some good research.
We could start after this the theoretical framework and the methodology.
Perfect, and then we'll go into the conclusions and everything like that and trying to analyze it.
I think Syria, Theo, and Dovely can help us with that.
Yeah, so let's go to them.
A significant component of sustainable business practices is based on corporate social responsibility, which focuses on the effect and on the impact that a corporation have on the environment, on people, and on communities. In recent years, there has been a huge increase in the desire for employees to work for companies promoting social inclusion, diverse hiring practices, and respect for human rights. Thus, by improving the CSR dimension, firms can attract more skilled and competitive workforce. Employees and consumers are also placing an increased demand on firms to create sustainable development that minimize the depletion of natural resources and reduce pollution. In Hungary, CSR is a relatively new concept adopted to sustain economic stability and to meet legal requirements. For this reason, most organizations that implement CSR only satisfy the government requirements. A significant difference in Hungary in comparison to other countries is that consumers are not the demand of CSR, but rather the firms are leading this shift. Other difficulties in transition economy are represented by the relatively poor state of the economy and the institutional and governmental change. Moreover, also the organization size has a remarkable influence. Thus, since in Hungary companies are small or medium-sized, this represents a challenge for local firms. Another impediment to note is the absence of government incentives to persuade firms. Indeed, the First World Nation protocols provide economic advantage to firms implementing CSR, while Hungary does not.
To collect the data, we utilize semi-structured interviews, which allows the researcher to expand upon or ask any clarifying questions about the interviewee's answers. We did these interviews online, which allows the researcher to triangulate their data after rewatching the recording, and this can increase the validity of our conclusion. To add to the validity of our conclusion, we also interviewed multiple managers within Metro Hungary, with different positions, however, all connected to the operational side and the sustainability side of the business. This allows for multiple perspectives and can help us create a stronger conclusion at the end by having multiple answers. We did see some setbacks with our research, though. We are looking at only one country, Hungary, and only one business in that country, Metro. So this allows for the expandability of this research to include maybe more second world countries, or rather more businesses within Hungary. Thank you, and I hope you had a good King's Day.